Hi, I'm Alli Cunanan, a graphic designer and illustrator based in Cavite, and I am here for Design Dialogues at Home to talk about presentation of type. I first got into type design just last year when I had my internship at Hydra Design Group. We were taught by, of course, the ultimate type queen, Jo Malinis. And right there and then, I immediately fell in love with type design. Part of our activity in the internship was to create our own typeface, and it could be based on anything or anyone. So I've decided to make one based on one of my favorite artists, Lorde. Since then, I've created 4 typefaces in a span of a year, starting with Lorde font, followed by Virgo, Quadrilatica Sans, and the latest, Ladybird Light, being my all-time favorite. I think what fascinates me most about type design is the ability of fonts to introduce themselves on their own, especially when presented in the right way. Some fonts are just so eye-catching that you're gonna have to look at it no matter what, and it's as if they're saying, "Tingnan mo ko, ang ganda-ganda ko." And that's what I want to achieve with my work. I want the design itself to speak. I want each of my typefaces to have their own unique personality and character. That's why for every typeface I make, I try as much as possible to craft them with their own style and present them in their best intended design to highlight their personality. Now that you've learned more about the basics of transforming inspiration for type with Aaron and type construction with Jad in the previous episodes, today I'll be talking about how I present my type work. After crafting each letter, I then create a specimen deck to present them. Specimen decks are presentations of your typeface to show its design and use. They're very important because it lets you present the best intended style and design for your typeface. It also strengthens your typeface's personality, which is very important if you want people to remember your design. It's where you get the actual look and feel and access a way for you to check your typeface's functionalities. Foundries usually present specimen decks in PDFs as freebies when you buy or download their fonts. But you can also find them in typography books, booklets, and posters. These days, it doesn't have to be as serious as a PDF or a book. Anyone can create their own typeface and specimen deck and present them as easy as an Instagram post or a Behance post, just like what I do. In my case, Instagram is the best platform for me to showcase my work, so I create an Instagram post. The inspiration behind Ladybird Light is Saoirse Ronan and my favorite movie, Ladybird, which she starred in. I always saw Saoirse as a very elegant and classy woman, so I thought I would try and make a typeface that resembles elegance in letter forms. Though in the movie, Ladybird wasn't elegant at all. She was rude, impulsive, and loud, which is very ironic to how I imagine Saoirse in real life. There was a part in the movie where she wanted to run as school president, so she made these hideous campaign posters with texts "Vote Ladybird" and "Ladybird for President." And somehow these ugly posters were effective. She didn't win the school election, but it did give her attention. If you look at her posters, she didn't use bold fonts. It was just a simple handwritten text, but the posters themselves were loud enough to stand out on their own because of the way she presented it. In typography, headings are usually bold and made to be big and loud to capture people's attention. So my main objective with Ladybird Light is to create a typeface that resembles Saoirse's elegance, but will capture people's attention without it being bold. And I guess it's one of the biggest challenges for me as well, to create a font that is light but is loud. I was thinking for Ladybird Light, I wanted to demand attention. It doesn't have to be bold for you to look at it. you will look at it. My process in presenting Ladybird Light started with ideation. I thought of ideas and concepts that could go with the typeface. This is the part where I asked a lot of questions. What does elegance look like? How do you present elegance? If Saoirse was a font, what would she look like? And this is also where I thought of important elements to include in my presentation, like colors, imagery, layout, and stuff like that. It's also important to plan the order of presentation. In my case, with Instagram, they allow 10 images per post. So that gives me 10 different artboards to play around with and present Ladybird Light in the best possible way I can imagine. After ideation, the next step is execution. This is where I design and put all my ideas into an actual thing. I always start with a cover-like post to introduce the typeface, kind of like an album cover. So for Ladybird Light, the cover is Saoirse with the text GIFing because I wanted to highlight the alternate letters. And speaking of alternate letters, these are variations of the default characters in your typeface. They are options and customizations to add more personality to your typeface. And I would say one of the best features of Ladybird Light is its alternate characters. For example, with letter R, I have 6 variations of letter R because I wanted to show the different ways I see elegance in this one specific letter. After creating the cover, I then presented the letters in their own category. So lowercase and uppercase. For imagery, I wanted the photos to directly show the inspiration behind the typeface and its design. So I used photos of Saoirse and screenshots of, in my personal opinion, the most iconic stills in the movie, like the shot of them in front of the Blue House or when she was sitting outside the White House, literally a White House. Lastly, of course, you have to make sure that everything is presented perfectly. This is where the last step comes in, which is revision. If something is not looking good or needs to be fixed, this is where I refine the design and polish it. Before posting Ladybird Light, I had 2 to 3 of my friends look at it just to use some fresh eyes, gather feedback, and tweak it a bit. Once I knew everything was perfect, I looked at it as a whole one last time to see the look and feel, and when I knew it was good to go, I posted it. Happy to announce that Ladybird Light is now available for purchase and download. Visit type-department.com and search Ladybird Light. I see Ladybird Light as a display font best used for headings in magazines or maybe album covers as well. Magazines like Vogue or Elle are the best examples that come to mind since they publish the best editorial shoots. And maybe even as a title card for a movie or a movie poster. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed learning more about presentation of type, stay tuned for the next episode where Design Studios and the Half and Together We Design will talk more about application of type for branding and client work. Again, my name is Alli Cunanan here in Cavite, and this is Design Dialogues at Home.